But some towns only have white people.
Right.
I think when it's those towns and they have never, you can tell they've never maybe even seen a black woman in person, much less had to listen to one talk for an hour. It's like, it's not even that I'm being funny. They just can't even believe it. It's not whether I'm being funny or not. They're just like, what is that? Like, what is this?
Somebody going to cue me or do I cue myself?
Cue yourself.
Okay. All right, everyone. Is this it? Is this it? Are we rolling? We are, Seth?
We're rolling. Wow.
Seth spoke.
Seth, speak into the mic.
We're rolling, baby.
Yeah, people love your voice. They want to hear more Seth.
Lies.
It's like cowbell. They're like, more Seth, more Seth.
I've seen the comments. I haven't seen any of those.
What comments? We have 4 followers on social media. We are back with another episode of Let's Talk Off Camera. So let's get talking. Said it before, I'll say it again. This is season 3. Season 3. Aww. Jan and I have an Albert. We have an album coming out on iTunes later this month, so look for that. Today's guest is Janelle James.
Big.
Listen, this woman kills me. Yeah. She is so funny. She's so brilliant. I think she's going to win that Emmy.
I hope so.
I think she is. She's a scene stealer, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I believe that if we were neighbors, we would be really good friends. I think that we would be in each other's houses a lot. Like dig a tunnel under the ground, have an underground tunnel that led from her house to my house and back, that kind of thing. I know. I like when I see her, she's got like a twinkle in the eye and I recognize it.
It's your people.
It's my people. Yeah. But before we get to Janelle, guys, Albert, Jan, Seth, any long weekend vacation news to report?
Albie had a big weekend, right? This was the
big weekend. Oh, this was the weekend.
Sausage Fest.
Sausage Fest. Which, by the way, all the newcomers this year were like, I love the title. And, of course, gave you the props. I said, Kelly, name this because it was a bunch of gay guys sitting around eating sausages with Kelly on Memorial Day weekend. And she's like, this is Sausage Fest. Yeah. Well, we got, so rain all the way up leading up to Saturday. And then Saturday looked very iffy. And then all of a sudden, Saturday morning, blue skies.
I know, it irritated me. I was like, this is the kind of encouragement that Albert doesn't need
blue
to have
skies.
That sausage festival. The Meat Gala, a.k.a. the Meat Gala.
Steve from Peconic Prime Meats was like all giddy and excited, thought you were going to be there. He made you a dessert.
I don't know what led Steve to believe this. I am famously never going to be on Long Island on Memorial Day weekend ever again.
Well, it was a big hit.
I have retired from Memorial Day weekend on Long Island.
How was Palm Springs?
Oh, yes. I want to hear. Uh-oh, the door has flung open.
Here he comes. Come in here. Sit down. It's your story to tell because, again, I didn't see it, so I need you to tell it from your perspective.
Oh, boy.
So, did you just wake up?
Yes.
We're talking about our weekends,
okay.
like our fun weekends, and we went out to dinner, and then I don't know what you would call it. What would you call it?
You were assaulted.
Yes. Right.
Yeah.
Like sexually assaulted?
Well, I mean, in certain states, yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh, God.
It was the craziest. So I need you to tell the story because, again, it happened to me from behind.
Where do you want me to begin?
Begin where we're sitting and I'm leaning on my chair this way.
Yeah.
I've got my legs folded because everybody is this way. I'm sort of I'm not at the head of the table, but I'm at the end of the table. Off right. And I'm facing everybody else who is to my left.
I see a table off her shoulder that at the beginning of the dinner, they keep turning around and they just smile and then whatever. I would say they're 40s, mid 40s.
So everybody disputes you on the age. They say 30s.
Yeah. Okay. 30s. Great. 30s, late 30s, old enough to know better. Right. And it's nearing the end of our dinner, or we're at the entree section.
We're in the middle of our dinner.
And the lady from the table gets up and starts to make her way over to us. I'm sitting next to Kelly.
And according to Lola, she has two paper bags in her hand?
I think they were doggy bags.
Okay.
So they're done. No, Albert, I didn't know what they had for dinner.
What they have.
I don't know what they had. I don't know what they had. But anyway, she approaches the table and she's kind of like, in 30 years of doing this, there's people approach the table and they're usually very kind and they usually approach the way this lady approached, apologizing for her approach in a way. Hey, I'm coming over here now. That's kind of the body language. I know this is inappropriate, but I'm going to ask a question. And it went from that to grabbing Kelly from behind.
My tits.
No.
Yes.
I didn't see the tit, but Kelly said she.
No, she did.
Yeah,
I'm not making it up. She grabbed my tit.
I know you're not making it up, but I didn't see that part. But I think she tilted her head back.
She pulled my head back.
And she laid a big kiss on her. When I thought, right smack.
Mark thought it was my mouth. It was my nose, which I don't know if you can still. She had braces, and I don't know if you can still see the little fleck of skin because I had a cut on
the
my
very
nose.
tip.
I had a cut on my nose from her
Right.
braces, and I was like,
And we all went, oh, like this. And so it happened, and she disengaged, and she said something like, what did she say? I'm the only one brave enough, or...
I blacked out. I don't know. I literally blacked out. I was like, what?
Right.
I thought it was at first because a woman's hand came and my head went back and I saw blonde hair and it was a very tall woman. I thought it was Gigi. I thought it was Ted McGinley's wife, Gigi Rice. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, oh my God. And then the mouth went over my nose and I was like, ow. And then I looked up and I realized I don't know this person. Oh my God. And I could, just by the looks on everybody else's face, everybody was like, yeah, it was like, it was like, and we're, us, we don't mind, like, we are so good when people approach us. We're not like, we're not fussy.
Nobody's giving you a kiss.
I didn't see her approaching and she snapped my head back and I was like, oh my God, there goes my neck. Because I have like this chronic neck issue. So my head went back and I was like, oh, not the neck. And then the nose bite. And I was like, oh my God, am I bleeding?
So she disengages from that. And then she starts to walk towards me.
No.
And I said, I'm good.
No.
And she still walked over me. And I pointed and I go, I'm good. And
was she drunk?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
And then did she quickly run away?
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
And then it was like, and then like everybody from the restaurant came over and they were like,
are you okay?
Oh my God, are you okay? Oh my God, we are so sorry. What can we do? Would you like us to ask her to leave? And I said,
No.
I think the less energy we give this, the better.
That's fucked up. I'm sorry.
No,
That's
it's
never
okay.
happened before.
No,
No,
but
it was
you said too, like
wild.
when the approach over, like that's normal.
The approach
I'm
was a normal,
sorry.
like kind of davening. I'm
Right.
so sorry to bother you. Do you mind if I take a picture for
She
my
didn't
mom?
say any of that.
No, but that was the energy.
Oh, you
she-
mean her body posture?
Oh, the
body
restaurant
posture.
they must have been mortified.
Oh, they were more.
Mortified.
It was that energy of like, you're not going to talk about this on the air, are you? And I was like, not on TV, but just on the podcast.
Oof.
Having said that, the food was
the lamb kebabs served.
Yeah, what did you eat? Let's get to
I had.
But don't give away too much. We don't want it. The restaurant. We
I
don't
had
want
saffron chicken.
Ooh.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
Okay, well, we're ready.
Right, great.
Oh, here you go.
Janelle James. Jan and I were looking at you. We're like, Janelle is so freaking pretty.
Oh, shit. Okay, well, thank you. I'll take that because I was like, oh, my God, I look a mess. I'm so glad it's not on camera.
No. Oh, clearly it's not on camera. This is, by the way, in case you're curious where I am, this is my 27-year-old son's former bedroom. He doesn't live here anymore, but we've kept it as it was when he lived here. And as you can tell, he was into some freaky shit.
That's cool. You've kept it the same.
Yeah,
my
we
son just
kept it.
graduated college a couple weeks ago.
Congratulations.
That's weird.
Is that your first college graduate?
Yes, my first college graduate. Yes. And it's weird and wild.
It's the greatest though, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm like, oh, I made an adult He's super cool.
Yeah.
He's finished college. He's so kind, and he's like a man. That's weird.
Did you go to college?
Let me say no and yes. I went to college multiple times, different places, never finished.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, all three of our kids graduated college. Mm-hmm. But what I didn't tell them, what I didn't say at the time was that, guys, you're not going to need any of this. I didn't say it. I didn't want them to know the truth.
I don't agree. I'm so glad they went. I think if just to have that little limbo between adulthood and going from high school, I think it's so necessary.
I always feel like because I didn't go to college, so I feel like it was probably more about me than about them. Like I mean,
me and you are not regular people.
What did I say?
Yes.
I just said, okay.
Which is what I try to tell everybody when they're like, how do I do what you did? I'm like, you're not me.
Yeah, it's
I'm
not.
so sorry.
It actually can't be done. It's such a fluke. It's such a fluke.
I'm a nutcase.
Right. It's so true. No, but we were saying, like, if you moved next door, I know that you and I would be best friends.
Dude, I don't do podcasts. I don't do interviews. I was like, who? Kelly Ripa. Okay, give me some headphones.
Oh, wow.
See,
Like,
that's going to be our promo for this, Albert.
One.
Yeah, because I was like, we are simpatico.
I can tell. The first time I met you, I was like, I like her.
I know, me too. I was like, I met you before you met me because I met you when I saw you on Abbott Elementary, and I was like, she's special. You are special. I just want you to know that. Like, if you ever doubt yourself, call me and I'll be like, you are the most special.
Well, you just fucked up because that's about to happen.
Good. So Jan says you're on your comedy tour right now.
I am. Well, not at
No.
I have a weekend off, but yes, I am.
Okay, but you are you going from hotel room to state to state?
I am.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh shit, I'm old.
No, but what is it like when you travel, when you're on tour? Like, take me through that. When you stay in a hotel, do you have your own bedding that you bring? Are you a germaphobe?
You know, Kelly, I always say I have not yet leaned into having money. I am new money, like super new.
Right.
And every upgrade is like Shangri-La to me. So my last time going on tour by myself, I was staying in places where I was sleeping with my back up against the door because I didn't feel safe. Right. So now to have like turn down service, I'm like, this is the Taj Mahal. So I am still maximizing my points. I'm still,
But that's never. I want you to know that's never going to go away. That is, I promise you, that will never go away. Because I think that if you are like me and you did not grow up with money and you had to work for everything. Yeah. I feel like that never leaves you. Like, I am always assuming that I'm on the precipice of bankruptcy, no matter what.
Yeah, facts. And I want to be a germaphobe, but I'm so tired. By the time I pull out the Lysol wipes, I'm already sleeping. Like,
they have a spray now.
I don't have time to re-clean a hotel room.
No, they have a spray now. Oh, God, what's it called? Oh, it's Clorox sanitizing spray. And you walk into a hotel and you just spray. It's like a Febreze, but it sanitizes. It's like a one-stop thing. So
now I got to smell the fumes, though.
It's not fumey. It doesn't smell like anything. No, it's got no scent.
Is this what you use?
It's what I use every time I go into a hotel. Like I'm a freak.
And what are you guarding against, you think?
I don't know, sperm, yeast, herpes,
Clorox bath.
The big three. It's like herpes, syphilis, and yeast. Those are the big three.
I'm interested to know. We got to do a science experiment. What happens to sperm when you spray Clorox on it? Is it just like it's clean sperm now, the sperm is still there?
I don't know. At my age, it doesn't matter.
Facts.
Yeah, I don't even need to kill the sperm. I'm just trying to kill the yeast. So Albert's big question is, what's your go-to room service order? Or do you try to explore the local cuisine?
Oh no, I'm in the room.
Right.
I'm in the room definitely, and I am getting everything. I'm a breakfast more than anything.
Okay.
Person. Usually, by the time I get there, I don't really want dinner. I will eat mashed potatoes for dinner. That's a thing. And mashed potatoes and like some kind of vegetable, and that's it. I will eat just that because that's something you don't really make for yourself.
Yeah.
You know, I live by myself. I'm not making a whole pot of mashed potatoes. So when I'm on the road, I'm like,
what's the breakfast?
the breakfast, I'm doing I'm getting that waffle. I'm getting the eggs. I'm getting the meat. I'm getting the fruit.
Yes.
I'm getting a hot beverage. I'm getting a cold beverage. I'm getting I'm getting a smoothie. I'm getting the green power juice. I'm getting all of that shit, and I'm taking one bite and sip of each one. I'm doing a bagel. I'm doing all that.
Yeah.
And I'm doing one sip and one bite of each thing, and then I'm done. So wasteful. But
so you just have like a sample of everything, but see Albert. This is the problem with Albert. He would order all that and then eat every bite of it because he can't waste it because it would be a sin to waste.
Well, she's the person that puts the tray outside the room, and I sometimes stop and think, "Can I eat that?" Because I've been done.
You're one of those weirdos. Yes, I get.
You want to hear the craziest and worst story ever? I'm going to tell you.
That?
When my kids were little, we were staying at a hotel. We were in California. I had to be out there. We were doing the show out in California. And Mark and I went to a party. And this is back when we were drinking. So we were a little bit in our cups. And we come home and we're on our floor. And we get to our room. And the kids' room service tray is outside our room. And we're standing there. And I was like, these kids, so much waste. They barely ate. So now Mark and I are standing outside, drunk as skunks, eating the half a cheeseburger.
No,
I'm dipping the fries in the ketchup and I'm eating it. And then he waves the key. It was like a card key. So he waves it. It's not working. He waves it. It's not working.
Oh, it's not your room.
We're on the wrong floor.
No.
Wrong floor, eating some random family.
No.
Yep.
And now you're spraying Clorox just randomly.
Clorox in my mouth. Clorox in my mouth.
Oh.
Can you imagine?
No, I can't.
I would have died.
Oh, please. I was like, thank God I was drunk because if I wasn't drunk, it would have been a real nightmare. I would have gone to the emergency room. So, okay. So we were talking about, before you log on, we do like a whole thing about you. You've been nominated 3 times for Outstanding Supporting Actress.
I've been nominated 3 times.
But you'll be nominated for 4 times, right?
From your mouth, Kelly.
No. But this is the year you win.
Okay. I claim that. I don't know.
No.
I feel like that's what I should say.
Yeah. No, I believe this is your year because nobody has the deadpan. Nobody can do what you do.
Facts. I truly believe that. Yes. But does enough people like it? Is the question?
Who did you base Principal Coleman on? Like, who is she? Because she is somebody we all know. Like, she is so familiar.
She is. She's like a conglomeration of she is is it your id? Where you're just like, if my ego was out of control, who would I be? She is like my ego turned up to 10, basically. Yeah. Overconfidence. But I feel like this season, you've kind of found out that's all a kind of a mask, as most people like that are.
Always.
But yeah, the role that she's playing is my ego turned up to 10, basically.
When you got that role, did you pinch yourself? Were you like, when you read the pilot, and you got the role, were you thinking this is like, theoretically, this is a juggernaut show and this is going to launch me into another stratosphere?
I was not. And I hope to not make people upset about this, but I was pretty chill. I was in the middle of the pandemic is when that happened. So it was I feel like a lot of things that happened and has happened around this show was clouded by that whole experience. Like I experienced it in a different way than I would have if I was like living normal life.
Right.
And so my main thought when I got it was, oh my God, I have to get on a plane. That was my first thought when they said, "Oh, come shoot the pilot." I was like, "I have to get on a plane."
But back then, but if you think about it, back then, because I remember being like, I had to get on planes too. Like I was still working, and I would have to get on a plane. But I would be like, I swear I'm the only person on this plane. It was like, I felt like the few times I flew during that time, it was like being on a private plane. Like,
Wow.
because there were not many people traveling.
I feel like though, yes, but it was so much unknown that it only took two other people to
Right,
freak me out. Because I was
exactly,
like, it only needs one person to have it for me to get it, you know?
Yeah,
And
right.
so I was pretty freaked out. And actually I need to go back and look because I was talking about this with somebody about my reaction and how that hit me. And they told me to look for the email that said, hey, you got the role. Because I don't even remember how I felt except fear of going outside. And that's unfortunate.
That's why, I mean, that's really wild because I didn't even think about, it's like, I think we were just so grateful to have a great TV show on the air that I didn't even think about it in terms of.
Yeah, our whole first season was COVID protocols. And I went from like only being in the house with my kid to being with 100 people, so it definitely was a different experience. And I always say that should be even like more props that we did all of that and made it seem like life was normal.
I know.
With all of that happening in the background, so yep.
When you,
I'm such a downer.
no, but you started out like, what would you say? Were you a comedy writer or a comedian first? Like, what would you say was what you considered yourself when you started out?
Oh, a stand-up comedian. That's what I was. And I knew I wasn't really looking towards acting. I had always wanted to be Eddie Murphy or Chris Rock or, somebody like that like really toured big. And then from there, become a movie star or something like that, like just like they did, just like a lot of comedians do.
Right.
And so I remember I would audition just to keep my agents happy. Just to feel like, just let them think they doing something, but nothing would come to me that I was super excited about, or I just always felt like, I'll get discovered through stand up, or one of my comedian friends will become famous and they'll get a show and they'll say, "Come on over here," like Adam Sandler does, or Seth Rogen and that whole crew. So I wasn't worried, but that was my goal, like to just be a big stand-up comedian. And when I got this pilot, this was the first thing I had been excited about, like on paper, in maybe ever. Like,
yeah, of course.
I was like, this is good. I was like, this is hilarious. I can not only my role, but I could see every character very clearly. It was so well written. I was reading it and like laughing out loud. I was like, I'm going to try for this. And I did have the thought that like, even if I didn't get it, I knew it would be good. I knew it would go, at least a pilot. I was like, this is going to be a thing.
Are you somebody that can watch things you didn't get?
No, because, and that's so funny. I haven't thought about this in a while. Another thing I was excited about that I auditioned for once was Glow. Do you remember that?
Oh,
It
yeah,
was like
of course.
the female
Glow.
wrestling.
Yes, I remember that.
I really wanted that role. It was for one of the female wrestlers, and we had to make up an 80s rap and perform it in the audition, and also like do a fight scene with ourselves. And I did this rap that I performed, and then I did a round kick in the audition. And I remember leaving that audition like nailed it, and did not get that role. And I have not watched 1 second of that show. I'm so salty. Maybe I'll watch it today.
Yeah, no, I'm the same. Like when it's very funny. We were talking about the other day, and Mark was talking about all of the films that he's auditioned for, and how I refuse to see any film that he's auditioned for that he didn't get the job. And so I literally haven't been to the movies in 20 years. I won't see anything. I truly have not seen a movie in such a long time, because I'm like, fuck them.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Exactly. F that show. And I heard it's pretty good though.
When you're on the stand-up circuit, that's one thing. It's one level of fame. You have a fan base and people are coming to see you because they know you're funny. But when you are on a show like Abbott Elementary, you are famous. Like you
I
are
am.
famous everywhere you go.
Don't I
What-
sound so excited about it?
I know, but what is that like? It's got to be weird.
It is very weird. I think part of the weirdness is, like you said, I was stand-up famous. I was a pretty well-known stand-up,
Yeah,
but
no.
I feel like comic stand-up is like such a niche performance space that there's people that go their whole life without ever seeing a stand-up comedy show. And you kind of have to search it out. And there's kind of a safety in that I knew my fans were my fans. You know, like if they were a fan of me, they liked me. And this show, I always say, like, the people who would have never come across me watch Abbott, you know what I mean?
Everybody watches.
And it is about me, but I'm also playing this character. And this character has become a thing unto itself in that I think a lot of people, partly because I'm so mysterious, I guess, can't separate me from the character. They think she's a real person. So I've been working on taking that as, oh, I'm doing such a great job. I'm doing just such a great job that people think I'm just playing myself and this person exists. But it is very weird.
But you are doing such a great job.
Thank you so much.
You know,
but anyone who really knows me knows that this is not.
So let's talk about the people that really know you. Did you have any friendships or friends or family members that suddenly started treating you differently?
No, because I haven't really changed. I mean, my son always says I'm the same person. Just every time he sees me, I have a bigger house. That's basically a lot of my family. I mean, my mom and everything, my aunts and all, they have watch parties and stuff. But like my siblings, they kind of don't watch. My sister says it freaks her out to watch the show because she says it's like I got body snatched. She's like, who is that? So it kind of freaks her out. And I think my son is the same. They're just like, that's not you. It's weird.
Are they are they in show business at all? Is your sister?
They're not. No one is. Then that's why it's weird. Like my kids don't know anything about this business. And I think that's also why it's weird for me to be famous. I got into this as an adult already. I have no idea about any of this stuff.
Right. It's better though. It's better that way. That's why you're normal.
Oh, def.
Yes.
I mean, I feel like I felt the same way about stand-up. I started stand-up when I was 28. So I was already, an adult and married and had kids. And so I feel like I missed the bacchanalia that would have like ruined my life.
But you had like crazy past jobs. What did you do in your previous stand-up?
Oh my gosh, everything. I think anyone who's tried to survive in New York has done the hustle thing of 50 jobs. So I think, let's see, my most memorable job was a receptionist at this salon. I think it's still there. It's called Mark Joseph Salon.
Oh, yeah.
And
of course.
it's in the fashion district.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that place was, I mean, I keep saying I need to make a show about that place because it was like where all the Vogue girls and the In Style and all those girls would come. And that was my first brush with like, not only Hollywood, but fashion reality, in that they would have on like Hermes and Prada and then come to pay for their like $14 manicure and their card would get declined.
Wild.
Because they're wearing like sample clothing, but they don't really make any money.
Right, of course, because in the magazine industry, they famously have no money. It's like everything they're wearing is like editorial, and then they get to wear it, but they have
so this is
money.
even before the internet. I learned not to envy people based on what they look like.
Exactly.
And just a cast of characters worked there. I worked at Scores, the strip club.
Yeah.
This is when
were you a stripper?
I was a humidor, which is one of the top lists, because I felt I was too good to be a stripper. I have regrets. I should have done that while my body was still together.
Yeah, my God. I mean, if I had a good body, it's my biggest regret. Like, I didn't have anything like people would, if they watch me strip, they would like actually pay me to put my clothes back on. They'd be like, please,
I doubt it.
This is awful. We insist you get dressed.
You're ripped to this day. Kelly Ripa, for sure. Ripped.
No, but I think that would be such a fun job. If I couldn't get caught doing it, I would love to do that.
I mean, some of the best money I ever made. And I will tell you, I did get caught because I was working there at the same time I was working at the salon, and one of my bosses came in and saw me, and that's why I stopped working there. I was so embarrassed.
No kidding, really?
because they were two older guys, and I just felt like my dad caught me with my titties out. So
Wow.
Well, what were they
stopped
doing
working
there? What were they doing there?
Exactly.
They don't
It's
get
always
to
on us,
judge.
isn't it?
Exactly.
It's always on us.
Oh, that's
But,
an exciting. I mean, who cares about any other past jobs? That's an amazing past job.
But yeah, I had all these side hustles. I would sew. I started a cooking company, just, willy nilly, that got pretty big. But my ex-husband, he used to make fun of how many jobs I had, but I would just, I would quit jobs and get another one the next day. And he actually made me a collage of all my business cards that I had while we were together. So I would quit jobs, but I always had one. I always had a job. I'm like a professional interviewer. I'm sure to this day I could still walk into any place and get a job. Like yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah.
My kids who are adults, they have life plans and they will turn down job opportunities because they're waiting to see if the other opportunity they're hoping for comes to fruition. And Mark and I were like, wait, you're because the thought of turning work down for Mark and me is so foreign. It's never occurred to us to turn down a job. They would ask me like, "Can you juggle tomatoes on the corner?"
And you're like, "Yeah."
I'm like, "Of course I can."
And not only that, I love it.
Yeah, I love it. Yes, I can. And I would lie. Can you ride a unicycle? Of course I can. Like it didn't matter.
And you would, wouldn't you? You would do it.
I would.
Exactly.
I would do anything anybody asked at any time. And if I couldn't figure it out, I would lie and then figure it out on the fly.
Yeah. And yeah, I wouldn't turn down work, but I would quit for any reason because I always felt like I would get another one. Or I'd interview like 3 places and then I'd get home like, I'll decide which one. I like this office because it's on the west side.
You have skills, but you have like she knows how to draw. She knows how to sew. Like these are skills. Like you were always going to make it no matter what.
Yeah, I will hustle into some money somewhere, into a job somewhere, like truly, never worried.
When you finally started making money on the regular, like where you were like, oh, this is a large check. Oh, and there's another one. Oh, and I get one every week or whatever. Did you do it like a big purchase? Was there like the first big purchase? Do you remember what it was?
Ooh, I think that's probably my first like real money was like my first writing job. And I remember the checks were great, but then also we got a whole bunch of checks for residuals, and I had no idea what residuals even were. I had been throwing them away. It was the envelopes from the WGA, and I thought they were just talking about my health insurance and shit. And I had been throwing them away, and my coworker was like, "Did you get all those checks?" And I was like, "What?" And I truly, literally sprinted home. In New York, I remember running to the train station and running to my house, and I had a couple on the table, and I opened it, and they were all checks, and I had to like contact them and be like, "Please resend these checks." Anyway, it ended up being like $70,000 that I hadn't
that you had just tossed into the garbage.
I had just tossed in the garbage because I was like, I'm already making all of this money, which was so much money for me at the time. I was like, surely there isn't any more, but it was all these residuals.
Amazing.
And so. Very not even exciting. My first big check, I bought pure silk pajamas. And then
that's exciting to me.
I bought a $3,000 bed. This is what happens when you get money as an adult. I bought a bed.
Yeah. Yep.
And really good sheets. Like I basically just pimped out my bedroom.
Good. That sounds practical.
Sleep is my jam.
Yeah, no, that sounds amazing.
Now, Abbott money. Yeah, Abbott money is a totally different thing.
So tell us about the Abbott money.
I bought my mom her first new car. It's the first brand new car she's ever had. And I think it's just a regular car, but she is like, oh, I've been giving my friends rides around the church parking lot. They all line up to ride in her car.
That's so sweet.
And then she'll call me and she's like, me and your aunt are in the car. Like I'm at her house. So my aunt comes out of her house with the snacks and they sit in the car and like meet up.
No.
And she just like shows her like, oh, look what the sunroof does. Look what this does. Like her last car was like from the 90s. It was like so old. that she got into like a one person accident. And I always say that the car committed suicide. She ran into like a median. The car was over it. And so I bought her this new car and it made me so happy. Like, so
see, guys, Janelle's doing it right. She's on prime time. So we're fucking around with daytime. There's no cheese. There's no cheese in daytime syndication. We got to get on a prime time show, and then
I know how lucky I am. I truly do. Yeah.
And so that show, what episode are you on now? Have you made it to 100 episodes?
No, not quite. We're going into season 5. I don't even know.
Yeah, so
I think we're like on 86.
Yeah, you're gonna hit 100 episodes, and guess what? You're gonna get
that?
Abbott Elementary residual money.
I mean, I can't even imagine. Thank God, because I'm tired.
It's gonna be wild. It's gonna be wild.
I'm tired.
Yeah. This is,
It says, as of April 16th, 2025, 71 episodes of Abbott.
71.
Okay, and so how many episodes did they shoot? I just want to make
We
sure.
usually do 22. We had short seasons because of the strike. So we're a little behind.
So they'll do it this year, and then you're going to have like.
Oh, forget it.
Do you know what Tyler Perry did?
What did he do?
He got all of his shows. This was like genius. He told us on this here podcast, when he did his deals for his shows, they initially wanted to buy the pilot episode, or like they would buy 10 episodes of a show. And he's like, no, I need you to buy 100 episodes. And they were like, no, we'll never do that. We'll never buy 100 episodes. And he's like, no, I'm not selling it to you unless you buy 100 episodes. And he sold every show basically with a syndication
already
package.
A syndication deal. Wow.
I was like, what? Why?
But here's the thing. See, this is what was also my thought with stand-up. He came with an ingrained fan base.
Right.
That's why they bought it. He's like, my people are going to follow me over here and they're going to watch 100 episodes. So I know my worth. And it's the same thing and the same reason I still continue to do stand up. Like, my fan base is always going to be there. That's a skill that I have that will always be with me. And I feel like super lucky that I have it, especially as the entertainment industry collapses here a little bit.
Has your agents, like, have they, like, did they understand the gold mine that you are? Have they gotten you?
Do they ever?
No, but I'm hoping differently for you. I feel like you need to become a movie star. And I'm sitting here looking at Janelle, okay? We already know you're funny. We already know you're talented. I know that you could do drama if you wanted to. I already know that. I know. And I know you could do action.
There's nothing but sadness under the jokes. You know that.
I know that. And I just feel like you, like, when I look at you, and I'm never wrong about this, and I've said it before, and this is a hill I will die on. I know you're going to win an Academy Award. I know that you will.
Kelly Ripa, be my agent. No.
Jan and I will agent you. We are very good advocates. Are we not the best? We are such good advocates. I feel like we need to write the thing. You should write the thing. You're probably a better writer than I am.
You know, I don't disagree, but another part of me is like, why should I? I always think about actresses who are known for things and they didn't have to write it for themselves. I'm like, why can't someone bring me something? I have things in mind, but I feel like you're the same way, probably, since we like each other. I have to be, and I think this is what happened with Abbott as well for Quinta. It has to be something I'm so excited about to do this much work. And it just hasn't really hit me yet. The thing that I want to invest that much of myself in to be my vehicle. And I know it'll come to me. It just hasn't as of yet. Well, you know, part of it too is we shoot 10 months out of the year.
I know. So then it's like, they're like, you're just too busy. We just can't, you're very busy.
Yeah, I'm already like, And
but your character, if you were to book, say, a major motion picture, Jan. Here's what your agents say, and Quinta would work with you because your character, Principal Coleman, has to go to a sabbatical. She goes on sabbatical, and that's when you shoot your movie.
Well, I don't know if you've been following this show, but I got fired for a couple hours and people almost killed themselves.
Right, I know.
People were on suicide watch. Our ratings went down. People still have stopped me on the street and said, I'm not coming back until you get back on the show. And I'm like, I am on the show. I was only fired for one episode.
One episode. It was
And they're like, oh, I literally stopped watching.
When you read that, were you freaking out at all? Or
No, because come on.
They're not gonna write her off. There's no way.
I mean, not only on some ego shit, like, but also, yeah, that doesn't make sense. And then again, it goes back into me just never being worried. I'm so so used to this, like, what's next? What else do I got to do? Hustle. I'm respected in so many different places. I'm just not worried. I'm like, well, if that's a decision they want to make, that's cool. I got other stuff I can do.
You know what's funny? I was saying we switched studios at the talk show. So we used to be on the Upper West Side for like 40 years, same building, same everything. And people were really traumatized. Like my kids were traumatized when we had to switch studios and move downtown. And I had an asymptomatic reaction. Like I felt nothing. Because I'm like, if I got emotional every time I had to switch dressing rooms, or like the show was canceled, or the show never came back, like I don't get attached to things like that.
You don't you hang your hat on one thing, that's gonna wreck you. Now you can't get up to do the next thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's why you're my homie, Kelly. I'm telling you.
Listen, Jan has a question.
I have a question because I know you're doing stand-up, because we were just at a stand-up show and they were doing crowd work and we were the victim of it. Do you do crowd work?
I do not. My stand-up is about me. I don't want to talk to anybody else. I don't want to know anybody's thoughts. I have things to say, and I am very like joke and story. I'm not telling stories, but I'm trying to weave a narrative through my whole for an hour. Like I really try to like. I'm trying to make people laugh the whole hour, and then have them leave like, oh, that was a show, you know? So I'm not pausing to ask people who's getting married tonight or none of that shit. That's not my bag. And I think it's so dangerous to do if you're not good at it.
Exactly. Well, also, I feel like crowd work almost seems like the person came to the show unprepared.
I mean, there's people who are great at it. Todd Barry, who was one of the first people to take me on the road, he has a whole album called The Crowd Work Tour. He was doing that before all these, internet comedians started doing it. So some people are skilled at it. The guy who hosts, who does the crowd warm up for Fallon, I forget his name. He's like an amazing crowd work comic. Some people, that's their bag, but a lot of people who are like trying to tell jokes and then going in the crowd work, it is kind of that they're unprepared. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It reads that way to me. How was your crowd work comedian?
He was good. It was just in the beginning, but I was like looking at this. I was looking at the people up there, and I said, "That's terrifying." Like, were you scared the first time you did that? I think it's the most terrifying thing.
Stand up?
Yeah.
I mean, what do they say? It's like right underneath death for people's biggest fear is public speaking.
Yeah, it seems terrifying.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that's how a lot of objectively bad comedians are allowed to flourish, in that people are so impressed that they're speaking out loud to a crowd that they don't realize that they're not funny. I don't mean to sound... No, I mean to sound exactly how I sound, but I really hate wasting people's time. So I don't do.
Do you have is there a person that you think is overrated as a comedian? Is there a person that you think is overrated as a comedian? Care to name them?
How much time we got? No, I'm joking.
There's a lot of. It's funny. My daughter will send me comedians that I find to be very funny, but most comedians, or like I call them influencer comedians, I don't find very funny at all.
But
it depends on the person.
I truly try to just like mind my business and not worry about what other people are doing. But again, stand up is a great thing in that you can have your fan base. Yeah. And that's it. And I always try to tell people, like, you don't have to like me. I can recommend someone else. Tell me what you like, and I can recommend somebody who will be good for you. But I'll take your money once, is what I always say. Like, you don't have to come back. But I do enjoy people who look like they're trying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're trying.
Yeah.
with a
who
yes.
seem like they respect the craft, because I do
Yes.
think it's a craft. Yeah.
It is a craft.
Yeah.
Did you ever have a moment on stage where you bombed so hard that you were like, fuck this, I am done
Definitely. I was at a private event. I think this was in like, I forget what town in Illinois, some town, Elgin or some shit. And it was a sit down dinner crowd. I had to do an hour. I did not have an hour. I should not have accepted that job. I was getting like $100. And at that time, when you first start out, you're like, oh, I've been contracted for an hour. I have to do exactly an hour. So I was up there and I was bombing. I was bombing partly because, I was pretty good, but also a lot of places I used to perform when I first started were super white, super middle America, and I could tell that they were just like, what is this? So at one point, I remember bombing so hard, I truly left my body. I remember my soul leaving my body. My soul was so embarrassed to be associated with me. And I was floating above myself like, you are bombing. Like I was talking to myself. And then I felt my body like almost collapsing. And I remember re-entering my body to stay standing. Like that was the wildest experience. And I remember it so clearly. But I always say, if you could go through something like that and then go and do a show the next day, which is what I did, then you're in. You can't escape it. I'm going to be doing this forever. I'm trapped.
Are white audiences different than black audiences?
No, it's not that they're different. It's
Is it
just
like a different sense
of
humor?
For example, I did what is it here? Irvine.
Yeah.
Irvine, California. Now I've done a lot of places in California. I did San Jose, and that was pretty cool. And I get and have always gotten very mixed audiences, but some towns only have white people.
Right.
I think when it's those towns and they have never, you can tell they've never maybe even seen a black woman in person, much less had to listen to one talk for an hour. It's like, it's not even that I'm being funny. They just can't even believe it. It's not whether I'm being funny or not. They're just like, what is that? Like, what is this? And that's what I would go through a lot when I first started, because I was doing all these small towns in the Midwest. And I think that really got me fit for all these other shows that I'm doing. Now I'm not scared of anything because I already went through that.
Of course.
How much do you make when you're like when I was at this comedy show, how much are those guys making when they get up there and do a set?
Did he do a whole hour or did he do 15 minutes?
No, they would do 15 minutes. Like, what do they get paid?
Oh, if they get paid. You probably don't get paid for those, maybe like $20 or something, but those are called practice shows. You're not the headliner, so you don't get paid like you did anything. And those are that's where we practice. You do 15 minutes at a time. In New York, which is why everybody moves to New York to do stand up, you can do 6 15-minute shows in a night.
Yeah,
you
right.
Just
How can you
run
afford
from club
to
to club.
live here? How do you afford to live here? That's crazy.
You don't. You eat.
Don't afford to live here.
You have side jobs.
You eat a slice of pizza a day. You crash at your friends' houses. You have a day job. I would assume the same, like being an actor and waiter and during the day and stuff.
When I first moved to New York, I couldn't afford to live here, and I found a woman that rented me the space underneath the desk in her office.
I did that.
You did it too? No.
It was a WeWork. WeWork. When WeWork first started, I rented someone's desk space underneath.
This was 1989, so there was no WeWork. So I had to. It was in between 5th and 6th on 56th Street, and I had to be in the building before 6 p.m. because that's when the building locked.
And then leave in the morning before people came in.
Correct.
I did the same thing. And what was so funny, I don't know if you've ever been in I don't know if they still exist, but it was all glass.
Yeah.
So I would be under this desk, and if I overslept, I would come out, and people would see me crawling from underneath.
Oh my God.
I told you we're the same person. I'm just the much older version.
That's insane.
We are the same person.
That's the opening scene to the movie right there.
Right. Well, it's people always say, well, if you want to write something, write your life story. And I always say, which part? Like, I've been doing so much.
Waking up in a WeWorks.
Like,
that's how the movie starts. You're crawling out of the WeWorks.
Wow.
God, I don't remember how much I paid her for that, but I definitely paid her like $20, $20 to $50 to sleep underneath that desk.
Yeah. That was I paid $50 a week to sleep under a desk.
$50 a bed. Yeah, I think I was doing like $50 a week. Yeah.
I couldn't. I mean, it was all the money I had, but I could not afford to. That was the only way I could live here. It was terrifying.
Many people rented closets and all of those things. I would fake fall asleep at everyone's house, even strangers. I'd be like, oh, so tired, and just like just go to sleep. We should be murdered.
I mean, let me just start by saying I moved to New York in 1989, and the fact that I wasn't murdered is a miracle. Like this was prime murdering time in New York City.
That was the stabbing era.
City. That was the time. It was Stab City. And the fact that we weren't killed, and you were in WeWorks, which is way scary.
The kindness of so many scary strangers.
Yeah, scary strangers.
I used to befriend people on the street and then crash with them that night, and I should be murdered.
Wow.
I should be murdered.
It's a miracle. I'm so glad you lived.
Made us tough.
I'm really glad you lived. So I just want to thank you for doing our podcast.
Of course.
You're going to win the Emmy this year, and then it is
thank
my
you so
goal.
much.
We're going to start a prayer circle here. We're going to start a prayer circle.
I'm in.
And we need to
open an agency. You and I need to be agents.
Then there's that.
we would be the most powerful agents. You know why? Because we would work our asses off and we would get you a package deal. I'm serious.
And I feel like she's joking, but I so believe that.
No. She's not joking.
She's not joking. Okay.
Jan is the better version of me.
Because I'm like,
I've got
you guys would be
balls, and I'm tough as nails. But Jan is like smart and cagey, and she just makes things happen.
Get it done.
Fucking do it, guys.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'll be your first client.
Let's do it.
We got a client.
Anyway, don't forget to watch Abbott Elementary. Go see Janelle James on tour right now. Are we going to put the tour dates up on our website? We're going to put the tour dates up on our website.
Yes, only a few left because I'm back to my other job as a principal.
Oh my gosh, that Principal Ava. I'm so glad you didn't get fired.
Thank you so much.
And don't forget, you could check out Abbott Elementary, ABC, Albert, Hulu, Disney Plus. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon. I just adore you. I love you so much. Bye.
And I don't like a lot of people.
I'm same. We're the same.
That's the new tagline to the show.
Bye.
We should have asked her if a fan ever tried to kiss her.
Has a fan ever grabbed your tits from behind?
Pulled your head back.
Pulled your head back with your stiff neck.
And then stabbed your nose with their braces.
That's the thing that really upsets me is that I still have this little. Can you see it?
I can.
It's legit there. I want to find this woman and slap some sense into her.
I just wanted her to not put her mouth on my nose. It's such a suffocating feeling.
I think her movie needs to start with her coming out from under the desk. And the title of the movie is 5 to 9.
5 to 9. That's funny.
Okay. Did we sign off, Jen?
We need a pedicure.
We did the goodbye?
Well, that's it, everybody. Can't wait to talk to you all off camera next week. Bye. You're welcome, Kelly. I cued myself.
Cue yourself, Jan.
Let's Talk Off Camera with Kelly Ripa is a production of Melojo Productions. From Melojo, our team is Kelly Ripa, Mark Consuelos, Albert Bianchini, Jan Chalet, Seth Bronquist, Roz Therian, Devin Schneider, Michael Halprin, Julia Desch, and Team Radio Andy, Lisa Mantaneo, Scott Marlowe, Jake Getz.